No more students, no more grading papers. Woo! I'm so excited. So yeah, I can't wait to get outside today and, you know, go see what's what. So I'm all dressed for summer. I got my sunnies on. I got my just went to Target the other day and I got this really cool you guys see it. It's my like shark t-shirt, but I got it in the boys section because sometimes boys have like a way cooler clothes. Yeah. Right now, over on Wasima's 21 Read Tarot in 21 Days Facebook group. She's been doing her like workshop, you know, working with nature energy, trees, flowers, Mother Earth, and so this whole week she's been doing prompts in her Facebook group. You know, free prompts for everyone. Just learning to connect with your tarot and oracle decks, learning to connect with nature energy, basically. And then today is her workshop. So if you were signed up for her workshop, I think it was like $15. She's starting the workshop like right now. It's a live workshop, although anybody who's missed the workshop can obviously go back and rewatch the whole chat, but it's like a 2-hour chat. She's gonna have like meditation and all that good stuff. And I'm one of 4 teachers in her magical summer school. So next is going to be Lucy Faye. She's going to have a whole week where she's going to do prompts in the Read Tarot in 21 Days Facebook group. And then on her Saturday, which will be the 20, wait, no, the 15th. On her Saturday, on the 15th, she'll be doing her workshop. And then I'll be the third week. And how you could use it to better your life and healing and using it for guidance. So I think that's going to be a lot of fun. So my free prompts that I'll be doing in that Facebook group, the 21 Days of Tarot, starts on the 16th. So it'll be 16th through the 21st will be free prompts that I'm doing, and then on the 22nd is the actual like paid workshop, you know, for a couple of hours, doing a private live chat, you know, with the people that are signed up with the workshop. But it'll be myself and Wasima, who is out in Lisbon right now. And so we'll do kind of like a side-by-side chat, you know, but I'll mainly be leading it, you know, talking about unicorns and fairies. So I'm so excited about that. So I guess even though school's out, I'm still going to be doing some teaching because I can't get away, I guess. Anyway, I hope you guys are having a wonderful Saturday. I've got my tea today. So this is one of the teas my friend Steph out in Belgium had sent me. So it's like cranberry and some other fruity goodness. And I don't know, I just kind of felt like a fruit today. You know, it's like vacation and I have nothing to grade and I have no children to deal with and I'm just feeling really good. So anyway, as I wait for more homies to pop on over today, I do have a few things to share with you guys because I kind of just wanted to, you know, catch up with you homies and see how you guys are doing, and hopefully, you know, you guys are gearing up for summer yourselves. I know not everybody's a teacher and not everybody's a student, so, you know, you're probably not having summer off, but, you know, people have summer plans. There are things they plan to do during the summer months, at least, you know, right now in the northern hemisphere we're going into the summer months. I know in the southern hemisphere they're more going into the winter months, which is just like crazy to me. But anyway, I have a deck to share with you guys, and a book that, oh hey Loki, Loki's gonna go up on his herbs right now. Hold on, let me turn the camera around for y'all. There he is. Hey Lokster, you got anything to share with anybody? Would you just like to be left alone and take your nap? Yes, yes, yes. All right. You got it, Lokester. So anyway, he's going to settle in for his nap while he is on his hammock in his room, settling for his nap. And it's Punky versus Eclectic. How are you? And yeah, I started reading the book because like literally summer just started yesterday for me. So I got like, I don't know, like 5 pages in this new book that I'm reading, so I'll share that with you guys. But Thursday, my seniors graduated, and that was a good group of seniors. And I taught probably like 80% of them as freshmen. And oh my gosh, it was kind of emotional, you know, watching them all graduate. Hold on, I have an eyelash. I swear I'm not crying. I just have an eyelash that needs to come out of my eye. Okay. So anyway, but they were such a good group of seniors, and I know that they're going to go off and do wonderful things in the world post graduation, because some of them are already doing like wonderful things. Thank you so much. Yes, I have 2,000, over 2,000 subscribers now. Like, who would have thunk it? Like, you know, I even mentioned in my video that I posted yesterday about the giveaway, which actually, while I'm doing a live chat, I should probably re-mention the giveaway in case some people didn't see that video. Um, but yeah, I remember when, I mean, the reason I wanted to do, hey Sherry Bug, yes, it's summer. You like the summer shirt? The whole reason I wanted to do YouTube is because it's something I mean, we didn't have YouTube when I was a kid. In fact, we didn't even have internet when I was a kid. That wasn't a thing yet. Like, internet didn't become a thing till like 1998, like when I was like a junior, like junior in high, yeah, junior, senior. People had like America Online and all that stuff. But when I was a kid, I had this giant like 70s tape recorder. You know, you put the cassette tape in, you can either play songs or you could, you know, record. And Amethyst Ascension, what's up? Yes, you like sharks and little swim rings, and they have little floaties on. They have little like water wings. Because sharks need water wings, right? And my brother and I used to do recordings on this jumbo thing, and we would record like little skits. Like, we would pretend we were doing like radio broadcasting, or that we were doing like a TV show, and we would play different characters. And then we'd play our recording back for ourselves, and we'd crack up, like, we'd crack ourselves up because we thought we were so funny. I've since lost those tapes, which sucks, but you know, I know my brother and I had a lot of fun doing that. My husband loves Shark Week, and one of his favorite movies is Jaws. I love Jaws. It's so like, I was so into it. Like, when I was a kid and I would watch Jaws when it came on TV, and I'd be like, whoa. You know, and I'd be like really scared for those people. And now to me, it's a fun movie, which actually next weekend I'm probably going to be watching Jaws. You have a huge poster in your office of Jaws. That is freaking awesome. You know what I was thinking? There's a shirt that I want to get, but then I'm thinking, why would I get the shirt when I could probably make my own iron-on transfer? But I saw this shirt that says pause, you know, and it's like the kitty coming out of the water, but it's like the shark poster. But I was like, why don't I do it with like Loki or Wally, like one of my own kitties? You know, I know how to do Photoshop, so I'm thinking of doing that this summer, and you know, making my own little iron-on transfer and making my own shirt, because craft project. So so yeah, so you know, I've always been doing like quirky skit stuff. Like, it was usually just me and my brother, and then me and my friends, and which actually my brother on the 4th, so just a couple of days ago, my baby brother turned 32. How does that happen? I remember when my brother was born. Sherry Bugs said, Shark Week is awesome. I love sharks. Went shark cage diving, seriously? In Hawaii, loved it. Cage diving with great whites is #1 on my bucket list. Holy crap. You are one brave mamacita. I would watch the craft project video. You know what? I should probably do that then. You know, maybe I'll show you guys that craft project someday. Speaking of craft projects, I did 2 craft projects yesterday. Did I bring any of them upstairs to show you in this video? No? Good thinking, Tara. I put it on my Instagram stories though yesterday. I mean, it's probably still on my Instagram stories, but I went, hey Celtic Witch! I went to the Goodwill yesterday, and because I do well, actually probably several times a year, I do a huge clean out, but mostly, um, everybody has to go sometime. Mostly do like a huge summer clean out. So I cleaned out, it's always the hardest to get rid of books because I'm like, you know, even though I'm like, okay, when's the last time you referenced that book? Are you going to reference the book again? You know, but have you absorbed the knowledge of the book? Yes. And if I truly wanted to go back and find something specific, I could probably find it on the internet. So I'm like, it was so hard to give away some of my books. But anyway, I gave away shoes, books, clothing, um, belts, like accessory, hair dryer, because I don't use a hair dryer. You know, I give away a bunch of stuff, and I like dropped it off, and then he was like, well, let's go into the Goodwill and see if there's anything we could take home, because we dropped off like 7 bags worth of stuff. So he's like, let's see if there's anything. So there was a brand new thing of gift wrapping paper. It was like fairy, like unicorn gift wrapping paper that hadn't been open, and I was like, oh, and I think it was meant for Christmas, but, and Suffolk, hello. But um I think it's meant for any time. So for $1.99, I got brand new thing of gift wrapping paper. I got a thing of wax for like candle making in jars. So like candles for jars. So, and I said that I was like, I'm going to make candles this summer. Boom, I go to the Goodwill. There's some wax. I need some fairy gift wrap. Yes, for journaling, for sure. And Sunita, hey! And let's see. Then, let's see. I got, it's a little, like, kitty, wooden, like, carved kitty statue, I guess. And it looks like Wally, but it had seen better days. It looked like it had been living a hard life, which I don't know how a decoration could live such a hard life, but like the ear was all munched up, the other side was like kind of jacked up. It looked like it had broken its tail off at one time. They like glued it on kind of funkily. You like that word, funkily? But I decided, you know, I'm gonna fix this kitty cat. I'm gonna fix Wally. So I sanded down the ears a little bit. I mean, they're still a little like uneven, but at least they're not jagged and cray cray like when we first picked it up. So I sanded them down as smooth as I could get them. I sanded down the tail. Yeah, probably a young kid owned it, because I was like, that kitty had a hard life. Either a young kid owned it, or there was a kitty cat that loved to knock it off the shelf of wherever it used to sit. And so then I restained it. I restained the tail. I restained the ears, you know, nice and dark. And then once everything dried, I gave it a nice coat of orange oil, and it looks brand new. So it's on the mantle now, safe, because Loki loves to knock stuff off of shelves, and Loki cannot get on the mantle. So I figure that Wally is safe on the mantle. So yes. But yeah, oh, so yes, I was talking about my giveaway. If you guys don't know about it, definitely check out my video from yesterday where it says 2,000 plus subscriber giveaway. I love doing giveaways, but I'll show you the stuff that I'm giving away. But on that video, you have to comment on a couple of questions that I asked on the video. So it says, you know, of course you need to be subscribed to the channel. And then in the comment section of yesterday's video, thank you so much. You had to tell me like why my channel name is called Kittens, Weights, and Tarot. Safik, today I'm just gonna do kind of a chit chat catch up. Probably towards the end I might do a little bit of a bibliomancy reading for people if they're still here. But today I just kind of wanted to kind of chat with you guys and kind of see what's up. And I have so much that's been happening. I just like I want to share it with you guys. I'm like brimming with shared stuff, or stuff I want to share. So excuse me. So yeah, so one of the questions that you have to comment on yesterday's video is why my channel name is Kittens, Weights, and Tarot, and then a video that you would like to see me create here. And then your name will get dropped metaphorically into the hat. I mean, I'll try to figure out a way, because I like to get creative. Sherry Bugs said, love just chit chats. Yes, today's just chit chatty. But I love to do creative things for my giveaways where I don't just like put everybody's name on a little piece of paper. Like sometimes I put everybody's name down and I gave everybody a rune association or a tarot card association. I shuffle it up that way, or, you know, so we'll see what creativeness I can come up for you guys. I saw that book, Tarot Card and Magical Oil. Yes, in fact, I have it here to show you guys. So the grand prize winner wins basically 3 things, and then second and third place win a 1-card reading from me. It'll be through email. I take a picture of the card and then I basically just type out what the reading is for that person or those persons, second and third place. But the grand prize winner will receive the Bruja Born book from the Brooklyn Bruja series. And this, the author is Zoraida Cordova. And I had a lovely chance to chit chat with the author, and I was like, when are you coming out with the third book in the series? Because the first book, Labyrinth Lost, is about the middle sisters, like, thing, and you know, and this book is about the oldest sister, and then the third book is going to be about the dad. But there's 3 sisters. They're like, it's a whole magical community, and it's like, you know, like an actual like community of brujas, of witches, brujos and brujas, and like it's so cool, and like how they try to, you know, incorporate what they do into like everyday life. And anyway, it's a really, really, really good story, and I know that you guys would love it. Okay, I think I'm back on. Sorry, the internet seemed to be buffering there. But the second thing that the grand prize winner receives is my Witchwood Oracle. So this is the card that came with it. It also came with one of those like little like fortune teller fish, you know, those ones that you like put it in your hand. Oops. You put it in your hand, and like if it does a certain thing, it's supposed to mean something. It's like a fun little thing that came with the cards. Has the little what it means on the back. But that's not all. I actually have the cards too. I'm just saying this is all the other stuff that came with the cards. I'll put this back inside. Okay, and then here are the cards. So this is the actual Witchwood Oracle. And I keep my cards pristine, y'all, so you don't have to worry that your cards be jacked up. They be perfect. But this is everything that came with it. You know, it's it gives you the meaning of each card. But of course, you know, a lot of people rely on their intuition, which is what I do. And then there's like a little spread. So instead of having a little white book, it has these cards that come with it. And this is the Witchwood Oracle. So this is the back. And it's a black and white deck, and I love it, but I have so many decks, and like I said, I just did a whole summer clean out, and I just like, I like to travel light, you know, I like to pare down what I have, you know, I don't like to have clutter or too much stuff. So even though I love this deck, I am passing it off. But oops, it's interesting. I never shuffle my cards upside down, but anyway, so the wolf was upside down. So yeah, these cards are pretty cool. I used to just read with them alone, like, but that one I think you can read all by itself and just kind of read it like a story, kind of like you would Lenormand or Lenormand. So yeah, so first this deck. And one more thing. So I had showed, it looks a bit Lenormand-ish, yes. Okay, so I'm not sending you an empty vial. I'm actually making a magical oil for the person who wins the grand prize. So what I do, because I like to work with energy, I tap into that person's energy and kind of feel what is it that they need, because I also love to work with herbs and, you know, flower essence and all that stuff. So because I'm very much a green witch. So just like tapping into their energy and then feeling out which plants would love to work with that person's energy. What do they need at this time? You know, and then I make that special oil just for them, so it's attuned to their energy. So yeah, that's the 3 things for the grand prize winner. And so like I said, second and third place is just a 1-card reading, you know, sent to their email with a picture of the card. But yeah, that's like a thank you for everybody who's allowed me to continue doing what I do here on YouTube. And I love having fun, with you guys. I love having my Saturday chit chats with you guys. Sometimes we pull some cards, sometimes we just tell funky stories. Sometimes they're funky stories at my expense, but when it's in the past, it's funny. And Kristen's here. Hey, Kristen. So yeah, I know, right? I was mentioning to you guys earlier that when I first jumped on YouTube, because I was like, oh, this is kind of like what I did as a kid, except not having internet. And when there's like a couple of first few subscribers, okay, those were like friends and family. Then I got to 20, and some of them weren't friends and family. I was like, oh, like people who aren't my friends and family want to watch me. Like that's kind of cool. But then I was like, whoa, people are watching me. So yeah, is 3 years here on YouTube, and I'm like, whoa, and I've been able to do so many cool things, make lots of friends, obviously with you guys, a lot of internet friends, and some of you guys I've never met before in person. But we get to, what's cool about the internet is some of you guys live across the United States, you live across the world, and I get to interact with you guys and share my stories, hear your stories. I've got to do fun things like with Simon with his 24-hour tarot. I have grown my spiritual business so that I could reach more people, so that I could help more people, and that's fun to me. So I've gotten to do a lot of things because of YouTube. It's not, I mean, I haven't really made any money doing YouTube, but the experience to me is that's abundance, meeting you guys and like doing yeah, just having fun. I get to be me. When I'm at my, people would say your muggle job, my teaching job, I have to be in teacher mode. I have to be kind of somebody else who's teaching subject matter to students, although the real me is kind of mixed in with that, especially when it comes to helping kids and things like that, or helping my athletes when I coach. There's some of me in there, but then there's like, there's always the different hats that we wear. For me, it's the coach, it's the teacher. And then when I'm not doing those two things, I get to just be me in all of my entirety. Let's see. Sherrybug said, I know I have watched you for a long time. I don't remember how many subs you had when I joined. Probably like, I don't know. It was like a small number for a while. And I don't know. I don't remember because I hadn't really, it's every once in a while I would see the number of subs I have, and all of a sudden it was like one day I was like, whoa, I'm at like 200. And then I think I did a giveaway for like 500, a giveaway for 800, I did a giveaway for 1,000, and then I think I did a giveaway for like 1,500 or something like that. And now I'm like, I think Simon alerted me and he was like, hey, congrats on 2,000. I was okay. I think we're back. Just having some like internet buffering issues. I don't know what's going on. But okay. So, some other news. Okay, this one is okay. It's it's not sad because I don't bring you guys down on a Saturday. It's interesting. So not sad, it's interesting. So grab a cup of tea, or if you're in a time zone where you're entering the nighttime, I don't know, I guess you could grab a cup of tea or grab a glass of water or whatever. Sit down. I'm gonna tell you guys a little story. Yeah, Sherry Bug's like, go away, internet buffering spirit. I know, right? I wish they had Sage for that. Yeah, it's I don't know, the internet is, I think it's YouTube again. YouTube was having some issues, especially during the Terrathon. They called it Towerthon because of like YouTube crashing. Yeah, YouTube has been having some issues. So I know it's not my internet because it's actually been YouTube having some problems. But actually, it was also home security cameras, YouTube, and some other networks were having some issues, like, the other weekend. Um, yes, it was all messed up during that. It was because it wasn't just YouTube. Like, I found out my home security was out all over the United States, and YouTube was down all over the United States. And then I found out other like network stuff was down. So what my boyfriend said is there was probably some sort of cyber attack on some of our biggest networks, and so they just kind of like shut everything down just to kind of protect people's privacy and data and stuff like that. So yeah, so I think all the glitching is just kind of like residue. I don't know, like technology residue left over from all of that. So yeah, okay, but I do have story time. So internet, I beg of you, please do not buffer during story time. YouTube, please hold it together. If you need a spiritual band-aid, let me know. Kristen. Oh my gosh, I still have it. I love that deck. Well, if they could wait until after chat to cyber attack, that would be great. Yes, it would. And Sunita said, oh, that's why you explained in a very good way. Teacher qualities. Yes, thank you. um, so, okay, story time. My dad's 79th birthday was on April 5th. And my dad, by the way, he doesn't look, do I have a picture of my dad around here? I probably do. My dad doesn't look old by any means. Like, when people see my dad, they assume he's probably in his early 60s. Well, I mean, that's why I love working out, is because of watching my father, growing up. He was like Superman to me. He used to do like the arm flex, and he would like let me like hang off of his arm, and he'd do like arm curls like with me, like hanging off of his arm. And so, just watching him always, take care of himself, and he was always going to the gym. He went to the gym like, I don't know, 7 days a week, six or 7 days a week, it was, and he went at like 4 in the morning. 4 in the morning is when he would hit the gym, because the gym was just open all the time. And he didn't go to a place like 24-hour fitness. This is like an old man's gym. Like, this was a gym that was super popular back in the 60s and 70s, back when he joined, when it first opened. And there's a picture of him with like the first people that, worked out at that gym. And one of his best friends is the owner of that gym. It's called Stern's Gym, and it's right above a laundromat. It's kind of in the ghetto. But basically, like, guys that went on to become bodybuilders, and worked out at that gym. And there's pictures of them all over the gym of them in their bodybuilding days. And those guys are still working out there. So like, these old guys that you see used to be professional bodybuilders. And although my dad never did professional bodybuilding, he kind of always fancied himself a bodybuilder, and actually he always wanted to be Bruce Lee as well. But this story is about my dad, and I'm looking through my pictures here because I want to see if I have a picture of my dad to show you guys. Because I know I have a really good picture of him on my desk at school. Actually, I have a couple pictures of him and my brother, my baby brother, who just turned 32, which sounds like that is crazy. Oh, there they are. Okay, so this picture was taken like just like 6 months ago or something, but that's my dad and my stepmom, and she's like 20 years younger than him. Sorry, 19 years younger than him. But yeah, that guy's like 79, but he's like still like every day at the gym, like always cranking, like always like still watching his diet. Like, he likes to go for jogs every now and then, or he like goes walking with my stepmom all over the place. I'll just put that picture right there. So yeah, I called him on his birthday, because I was like, what's up, old man? Happy birthday. And I sing my dad happy birthday. And he was like, hey, love, yeah, thanks for the happy birthday wishes. Yeah, he goes, can you believe 79? We had a little chit chat. And then he's like, hey, you want to hear a cool story? I almost died. I was like, what? like this has to be a joke. And my dad's like, nah, it's so cool. I almost died. I'm laughing because, like, I don't know, my family and I, we have twisted senses of humor, but I was just like, and I'm like, what do you mean you almost died? He says, okay. And my dad's like laughing because he thinks his is hilarious. And that's just, I don't know, that's like my dad. Anyway, um, and I was like, what happened? And he said, okay, well, he says, I was getting a good pump at the gym, right? And he says, and I decided to do some legs. He says, I hadn't done legs in a while, but he's always very self-conscious of his calf muscles. Like he always wanted big calf muscles, but my dad's Filipino and he's got like these like little chicken legs kind of. He's got like the little like ball muscles on his calves, and he kind of always wanted big legs, but my dad just doesn't have big legs. And so he was like really working calves, he was really working legs. And he says, I get home and I made something to eat and I'm walking around the house. He goes, and I sat down and I looked down at my feet and my ankles, and I was like, man, he saw my calves look really like swole, like good, like I must have gotten like a really good pump at the gym. And he says, so we went about, another hour or two, but he says he kept looking down at his legs and he was like, I don't think that's gym pump. He was like, I was like, they actually look swollen, not like swole, S-W-O, swollen. And he's like, and I was like, huh. And I was like wondering, like maybe I just like overwork them or something, at the gym. He says, but then he says something, and by the way, my dad hates doctors. He will not go to the hospital. Like he hates doctors, he hates dentists because of being scarred back in the 40s. But yeah, he hates doctors and dentists. So it takes a lot for my dad to go to the doctors. Usually there's a lot of like kicking and screaming. And so he's like, something in his brain told him, you need to go to the doctors. And he was like, So he says he didn't want to bother my stepmom. She was at work. She's a professor at state. And so he's like, so he drove himself to urgent care because he didn't want to wait around for an appointment, like get an appointment in a week or something. He kind of felt like it was urgent. So he goes into urgent care and they say, okay, please have a seat. We'll probably get to you in probably the next couple of hours, 1 to 2 hour wait because of all the people who have come in. He's like, okay, that's fine. So he's just kind of chilling out, and he says eventually, an hour goes by and they call him in, and he says, they do the routine. They take your blood pressure, they take your temperature, they take your heart rate, and they weigh you and all that stuff. And they're like, okay, thank you. They said, the doctor will see you, So he goes in and he says, doctor starts running some tests, doing, and he's talking about his legs being swollen, but he was thinking that maybe he overexerted himself, at the gym, because he's like, he just had a leg day. And he says, the doctor goes out, there's some commotion, and he says, and all of a sudden the doctor and some nurses and like another doctor come in and they're like, come with us. He goes, and they take me out of like the little exam room and they take me into like a serious room, like, with like all the gizmos but my dad calls it the dealy bobs. He saw with all these dealy bobs and the deals and he calls it chinguses, the chingus, the dealy bobs and the, and the machines, And he's like, what's going on? He says, so they're like, just bear with us. We got to hook you up to an IV and all this stuff. And he's like, I just came in because my legs were swollen. And so finally he says, and my dad's just trying to stay calm because he's not getting a whole lot of answers from the doctor, but he's doing what the doctor's telling him to do. And so he's just kind of laying there, and he says the doctor comes to his bedside, and he's like real serious, right? And he's like, Mr. So-and-so, he says, do you know how serious it was when you came in today? And my dad's like, what the hell are you talking about? And he says, well, if you would have waited 1 or 2 more hours, sir, you would have been dead. And he was like, what? Like that? No. He says, what are you talking about? And they said, sir, you're an organ failure. And he's like, what? And he, and so the doctor was like, stay calm. We have everything stabilized now, but here, we're gonna have to keep you in the hospital for at least a week, to, if you want to call your wife, that'd be great. And so my dad's like, of course he calls my stepmom, and my dad's like, I feel great though. Like, how could I be almost dead? And my dad says he actually laughed in the doctor's face, and the doctor was like, I'm not joking. And my dad's like, but that's crazy, and then I told my dad, I said, a couple of weeks ago, I had this horrible feeling. I was doing the dishes and I had this feeling. I was like, that I lost my dad. And I was like, and I felt so sad. And I said, I called you. I called and I left a message. I felt like you were dying. And I was like, and I said, you didn't return my call, which you normally don't return my calls, but because my dad hates talking on the phone too. And so he's like, oh yeah, I got your message. Actually, I got all three of your messages because I kept feeling like something's wrong. Call your dad, something's wrong. And so I'm like calling and I'm like, I'm not getting any answer. And my dad's like, I got your messages. And he was like, yeah, I figured if something was really wrong, I would call you back. And I was like, were you gonna call me back as a ghost? Or, I mean, I was like, when were you gonna call me back? I mean, going into organ failure and having to stay a week in the hospital to me is pretty serious. And my dad's like, I'm fine. Okay, sorry, buffering internet. But yeah, my dad's like, boy, people born in the 1940s, you can't knock us down. Should have been, my dad was born in 1940. He's like, you can't bring us down. I know, major buffering. But my dad's like, he goes, I'm scrappy. Born in Logan Heights. Like, you can't kill me. I was like, I call him Papa, but I'm just like, Papa, like, you can't. But I'm glad you followed your gut, and you went to the doctors. And I was like, so what happened? Because somebody who's as healthy as my dad doesn't just go into organ failure. And my dad's like, okay. So the doctor explained to me this is what happened. He says, I don't know if you care, but he says, I had some prostate issues like 10 years ago. He says, and then the doctors said that they fixed it all up right. He says, but I know I've been having like some prostate issues recently, like within the past year or two. He says, but I kind of been dealing with it. Well, come to find out, he says his prostate had enlarged and it had started pressing on the kidneys. And he says, and pressed on the kidneys to such an extent that they couldn't receive the blood flow from the heart. And so when the kidney numbers started going down and those started failing, it put all the other like stress on the organs. Hello, Jong. So it put a lot of stress on his other organs. And they said, but luckily, they said, because they have him stabilized now. His kidneys are fine now. His numbers are back up. All his other organs are like A-okay. What they're trying to figure out now is whether or not they need to do surgery, like remove the prostate or not. But my dad's like super against surgery. He's like, no surgery. Like, you are not removing my prostate. Like, to him, that's like his manliness. And my dad doesn't want to lose his like manliness. So he's like, you need to find another way to fix that. That doesn't involve cutting me open. So, well, anyway, when they were, doing all the testing and trying to save all his organs, they found out that he actually has a slight heart condition that went unnoticed because my dad has always been so healthy his whole life that nobody ever caught that he has the heart condition. And my dad's like, oh, now we know why you have something wrong with your heart. You must have got it from me. And I'm like, thanks. Well, what my dad's issue is with the heart is he has a really strong, intake of blood, but it's he calls it the ejection. So he has a good injection, but ejection, so pushing it out is weak, so he can pump in the blood, but when it pushes it out, it's kind of weak. So the cardiologist, yes, he is on the mend now, and to him, the worst part was not, yes, low ejection fraction. Thank you, Sherry Bug. I'm glad we have an EMT in the house. Yeah, so the cardiologist said he didn't want to give him any sort of medication at the time because his kidneys were having issues, and they didn't want, obviously medications mess with your kidneys like pretty bad. So they didn't want to mess with that. They said, let's figure out like your prostate and all of the other stuff, make sure everything else is healthy. Then we'll give you the medication that you need for your heart. They said, because the cardiologist is like, it's fine. You know, we can have, there is a medication for that, and you'll be fine. Even though my dad's also like not about medication. My dad's just like about healthy living and basically trying to stay away from as many meds as possible. Um, Okay, we're back on. Oh, okay. I saw Sunita's comment. You just have to comment on yesterday's video that says 2,000 plus subscriber giveaway. Just comment on that video. It's like a 5-minute video. It tells you what questions to answer. You just put it in the comment section. And Becky Beatles here. Hello. So yeah, so my dad's doing much better. He says, you know, he's fine. He and my stepmom are going to be taking a trip to New Mexico on the 19th, I believe, because her birthday's coming up. She's turning 60. Yes, last day of school. And so they want to go. You know, they love to take trips everywhere. So you know, my dad loves to explore and all of that. They went to Peru last year. So my dad, like, what made him most upset was not that he almost died. is the you're not allowed to go to the gym until we figure stuff out. Sunita, so the comments, no, not here, but in the video, you just go to, like, you watch the video and you just leave a comment. That's, yeah. And it should still be there because I think people are still watching the video from yesterday. But so yeah, it's when you actually have the video up and then you just leave a comment, kind of like you would in any video that you watch. You just kind of leave a comment down below. But yeah, so he hated not being able to go to the gym because that's like his church to him. You know, those are his homies. That's where he gets to be himself. That's where he gets to talk about his problems. And it's kind of like their, I don't know, like therapy slash church slash wellness center or something. You know, that's like the gym to him. That's where he gets to be with his friends. And so he hated not being able to go to the gym. He hates poking and prodding and like doctors hooking him up to stuff and constantly taking blood. He's like, they take so much blood like every single week. And he's like, and I hate being in there because there's all these old people and they tell the young ones, because when they're looking 79-year-old, they're looking for somebody who's broken and decrepit. And they look at my dad and they're like, there's no way that you're 79. Like, you maybe 64 at the most, you know? And he's just like, you know, it's depressing. He goes, there's people there that are just so broken and so fragile. And my dad's like, I don't know. He's, oh, it's depressing. I hate going to hospitals. He goes, hospitals just, no. He's like, I don't like going there. And he's like, and they take blood, but you know, I have to do it because that's like how they figure stuff out. And he's like, I swear they're just vampires. They're just like feeding off of me. I'm like, they are not. Like, they're just making sure that you're okay. Kristen said, yeah, that's probably going to be hard for him. He could still go just hang with his homies. I know. It cracks me up when old people call other old people. I know. And he's like, man, they're old. And I'm like, they're the same age as you, or they'll be like 80. And he's like, oh man, they're like, that's you like next year. Lida Riga, what's up? Yeah, so my dad thinks that they're just like drinking his blood like behind closed doors. And I'm like, they're trying, like I said, they just want to make sure that all the numbers in your organs, like everything is fine and nothing is crashing again. I said, while they like figure out your prostate stuff. He's like, I'm fine. Okay, I know, the buffering is getting annoying. I probably won't have such a long chat today just because I don't want to annoy you guys with all the YouTube buffering here. But yeah, Amethyst Ascension had to take off, so I hope you have a great day. And yes, Light of Raga, I totally agree. You know, luckily they still have like good insurance under my stepmom's insurance because, you know, she's still a professor, but she is retiring, I think, after in a couple of years. No, Becky, it's YouTube. It's still a little glitchy after its whole like shutdown like the other weekend. So, so yes. So I've been calling my dad once a week just to check in. And it was like kind of, I don't know, to me it was strange because I did have that feeling that my dad literally was dying. And to me it's like, oh wow, well at least you know your intuition's spot on. But like sometimes I'm like, I don't like sometimes you don't want your intuition to work, I guess, but I guess I would also be upset if my intuition didn't work and I had no idea that there was anything wrong with my dad. So I don't know, that's kind of a little conundrum, I guess. Sometimes I know too much and I don't want to know sometimes, I guess. But I guess I would be upset if I didn't know. I don't know. Anyway, Sherry Bug said, sometimes ignorance is bliss. Sometimes, but of course, catching me completely off guard if my dad was like, hey, I almost died, I don't know. At least he's doing better. My dad is so stubborn. My dad is literally never grown up past the age of 15. Like, I've always seen my dad as like a 15-year-old boy. He's very hard-headed. He's very he's hilarious. I mean, he's like always the life of the party. Everybody hears my dad's laugh. He has this big loud laugh, which my stepmom is like, you can always tell when you guys are family. She's all, between your daughter and your son is ah ha ha, goes the biggest smiles and the loudest laugh, and she's all, you guys like totally, because she has like a wicked sense of humor where she likes to like laugh kind of like where like me and my dad and my brother are all like ah ha ha. We're like pretty loud when we're telling jokes and stuff. Oh my gosh. And then there was my dad's, what would it be? My dad's niece? Sort of, I guess. His nephew's daughter. I guess that would also be his niece, I guess. Second niece. I don't know. Anyway. So anyway, at this quinceañera, like, there was our family, and we knew our family, but the majority of the people there, we had no idea who they were, because they're like, that's like my cousin's wife's like side of the family. I don't know like a whole lot of them. And there was like some people dancing on the dance floor. I mean, they were playing, some, mariachi music, like, dancing. You want to cut a little rug with your dad? I was like, cut a little rug? Hell yeah. And so my dad and I went up there. And I love the way my dad dances. He's like that's my dad's dance. So he's like, like that's his signature move. And then he'd be like, hey, so my dad and I were just like, we were sweating. We were dancing so hard. My dad was like spinning me around, and he's like going back into like the disco days. Like, and I was just like, what is that? And my dad's like, check this out. Who weren't our family had stopped dancing on the dance floor because they were like watching us, and then my aunt and my uncle, and then we were all just like having a great time, and we realized like we were the only ones on the dance floor because everybody else is like, oh, what the hell are those people doing? So that is my family. So yeah, and I feel like my dad had a lot of years left. I just wish sometimes, like when it came to, because sometimes he ignores things, but at least he listened to his intuition this time, because I don't think my dad is ready to exit this earth. I'm like, you got like a lot of years, because his dad lived till he was 90. My Filipino grandfather, who died in the Philippines, he died at 90 after having like 7 strokes. He drank like a fish. He smoked cigars. He womanized. There's a lot of stories about my grandfather. I mean, kind of fun actually, but adventure. But yeah, doing all that, still lived to 90, and like wasn't like all and yeah, just on my dad's side, people live till like their late 80s, early 90s, and a lot of them like don't take care of themselves. And I was like, and my dad, like, you do take care of yourself? Like, and so if you have people living to 90 not taking care of themselves, like, imagine how old you're gonna be. You're gonna be like 150 or something. Like, Ooh, he says, like, what kind of birthday card would that look like? He says, that would be pretty cool, like a century. My dad's like, I don't know, maybe cool. He goes, I could be one of those like centaurs. I was like, no, Dad, like a centaur is not mean century. Never mind. Oh, it's okay. If you want to be a centaur on your century birthday, that's okay. That's up to you. And he's like, yeah, I want to be a centaur. And Ozark Oracle is here. Your dad sounds like a surfer dude. He's like, he's, he just talks like a 15-year-old. That's all I gotta say. And he has a lot of fun. A lot of people love my dad. You know, he's a fun guy. I mean, when I was a kid, I mean, I love my dad, but I also feared my dad because he used to be super strict. And I don't know, now that he's older, you know, he's an old man, he's gotten a lot softer, so I think he can just be himself, or I think he just felt that he had to be so strict and so hard, unlike me when I was younger. But now we have a much better relationship now. Before it was very like, I am so scared of my dad. You know, when I like even up into like my late teens, but now we're okay. We're okay now. Okay, so I said I wanted to share a couple of things with you guys. Oh, by the way, the stone that I felt compelled to have for the past couple of days has been chrysocolla, one of my favorite stones. P.S. Don't try to sleep with a very pointy stone underneath your pillow. Makes for a very difficult sleep. Anywho, so the book that I started reading, I'm like, what am I, 5 pages in? I don't know. It's a pathetic off of Etsy. It's all seashells. So this is like dyed seashell. And then this is like a sliced seashell. Oh, Ozark, you got this the other day. That is awesome. Or I mean the book the other day. Or no, chrysocolla the other day. Sorry. But yeah. Yeah, I love this. I just been feeling the beachy vibe. So yeah. Sorry, I have like too many things in front of me. I got all confused. Thank you. So yeah, the Gilded Wolves is interesting. There's like these, I keep thinking like infinity stones, but it's not really infinity stones. But basically it takes place in like the 1800s. And there's these stones that came from the Tower of Babel. And there's like 4 of them, and they got like just like pushed to the ends of the earth, you know. And so there's like a little bit of Bible in there, but it's like Bible because it's like a clue, kind of like the Da Vinci Code, kind of, you know. And so, but then there's all these other manuscripts and everything is like tells you kind of where these rings are that have these stones, and like it's passed down from tradition to generation to generation, like how to use the stones. And basically the stone allows you to create like a god or a goddess. Like you have the power of creation, and to make beautiful anything, kind of like magic. And so the heirs who are waiting next in line for this one woman's ring, you know, are kind of waiting for her to die so that they could have this power. Because when you are elected to like the throne or something like that, this ring gets welded onto you during your coronation. And so it's the very beginning of the story. Basically, somebody just bumped off this lady and like chopped her finger off and like stole the ring. And so now they're going into why it would be very bad if these people who are kind of like the Knights Templar people can't protect the stones. Like if the stones were to get into the wrong hands, basically it would be the destruction of the world as we know it. So that's how this story begins, like 5 pages in. I'm like, ah. So they call it gilding, like when you have the power to create, you know, kind of like a god or goddess would create. It's called gilding things, you know, to make beautiful, the only how a god or goddess could. So yeah, it does sound good. So I can't wait to dive into this more this summer. It probably won't take me all summer to read it, but yeah, I'm super excited about that. One of the new decks that I also got was the new Crafter's Tarot, so I pre-ordered it from US Games. And Carmen, what's up? And I used it for the Tarot-thon. I've been using it. It's, I mean, like, me and herbs and like plant energy is like oh, by the way, I know you guys can't see it, but let me lift this up. Those are the roses from my garden. Oh, look at those things. um, so I'm going to be doing some stuff with roses this summer. I want to use some of my dried rose petals and make a few candles with my roses, because my roses are like everything to me, which is, well, I have my Wally's World Oracle. Yeah, they're called Oh My roses. I mean, I think that's, yeah, they're called Oh My. But basically, well, those are my red-orange roses, but on my Oracle deck, the roses that are in the corners here, those are my red roses. Like, I love them so much. And my roses, to me, like, I use them for so much healing. So yeah, yes, a good name for them. Am I? So yeah, I want to make some candles with my roses in it. I also wanted to make a rose salve with my roses, and maybe some of my red orange roses, because I think those are really powerful too when it comes to just healing in general. So I want it to be a healing salve as well. I don't know how much of it I could make, because, you know, I don't have an unlimited supply of roses at the moment. I mean, they're blooming right now, but there are months that they don't bloom, so it's not like I would have an unlimited supply. So I make salves, like a magical salve for my Etsy shop. Thank you, Carmen. But it has different herbs in it, and I want to make one that's just roses. So they are very high frequency. I connect with them so well. Like, I don't know, maybe I sound like a dork, but I love to have conversations with my roses. Like, they teach me so much. And so okay, so that's what I want to do. I'm going to make candles with the roses, like, infused in it. I want to make a salve or ointment with my roses. And then the third thing I saw on YouTube, there's only a few videos, but how to make rose beads, like rose necklaces or rose bracelets. Basically, it's just water and rose petals, like whether they're dried or fresh, and you just take them in a mortar and pestle and you just grind them up until they become like a pulp. I do also use the leaves, actually. I do use them actually in my tea, and other things. I think of that every time I enter this room. I'm always like, got my face in my roses, and I'm like, this room smells great, by the way. That's why I love hanging in here, or hanging out front where all my roses are blooming. But yeah, I want to make rose beads. You know, so they said that they get pretty hard. They become kind of indestructible. They become like actual like beads. So I was thinking of maybe doing that with my red roses and my white roses, which turn kind of a dark yellowy color. And then maybe adding some, well, I know this is like dyed turquoise and howlite, but like some actual like turquoise. I think that would be nice, like as a bracelet, because I love bracelets. Like, that's what I like to make. So my mom used to talk to her plants, and she had the most amazing plants. I'm no good at it. You know, I used to think that I didn't have like a green thumb at all, and I still don't think I have the greenest of thumbs. Like, but I do notice that the more I talk to plants and kind of really listen to where they want to be in my yard instead of where I think they should be, I've had more success. The more I talk to them, care for them, prune them, take away the leaves that have turned yellow, and just always make them feel beautiful, I've had more success. And I've even asked certain animals that like to dig up things in my yard, if you could just please like leave my roses alone, that would be great. And so far I have had success with that. I need to start a conversation with a few plant. Yeah, sometimes they just want to be heard. Sometimes they're like, I know that at the nursery it says I need full sun, but actually I would like partial shade. So that's kind of what I get from my plants sometimes. Like, actually, I don't want to be in full sun, or this is too shady. Yes, meditate with them. One redwood tree showed me a new way to ground myself. That is awesome. I finally connected with that tree that's in my front yard that I used to hate, but now we have a good relationship. It's like grandma tree to me. But yeah, sometimes all you have to do is just talk with them and really listen. For some people, listening could be you actually hear something in your ear, or you feel something, you just know something, you see something in your mind's eye. I am going to do another psychic development series video, and I think I want to do it with plants, to get you guys working with nature energy. But yeah, I just, yeah, I got a really cool meditation for my roses just the other day. I was talking to the rose bush that I pulled those roses from, because they're blooming in like bouquets. Like I literally have bouquets like all over the bush. Like all you have to do is just like cut the stem. You got a bouquet of roses. It's like beautiful. It was the coolest thing ever. I was always grounding myself by sending my roots to the earth core, but the tree showed me that it's better to tap into the roots of all things. And Ozark, oh yes, that would be great. Yes, so Lighteriga, I have gotten that over time, where I used to just like shoot my roots down, like my roots down to the earth's core. But I don't know, that's changed, like just the way I see things. It's like my roots are going down, but my roots connect with like everything. So it's like I become part of like a root system instead of just like going down into the earth. So I'm glad you brought that up, because yeah, that's actually my meditation's changed a little in that regard as well. But I was having a little chit chat. That's the tree. That's awesome. We sometimes we just need to like have a little chit chat with animals and nature, and like there is some stuff out there to be learned. But I was having a chit chat with my roses, and I was like, are you being bothered by any of the bugs? Why is it that the pincher bugs love to hang out in your petals? Do they feel safe there for some reason? Are you bothered by the webs that are all over you, or do you like the webs on you, or, just having a little talk. And I took a picture of them, and I was pulling some cards for Wasima's Learn Tarot in 21 Days Facebook group, because she's doing the Magical Summer School. Actually, today she's doing her workshop, and then my workshop's in like 2 weeks. And one of the questions was like, what message does nature have for us, or flowers? And I was like, so I'm trying to listen to my roses, and what my roses were telling me is, be like the rose. The rose, like, I mean, it takes a little while, but eventually it just looks like it explodes into this beautiful thing, and it opens itself up to everything, bugs, wind, elements, everything. It's just open. And the roses were telling me that your ideas are like the bursting of roses. They're bursting open, and everything that you do, everything that you're called to do, bursts open like these roses. And then the bees come by, and I have stood by and watched as the bees like roll themselves basically in the pollen in the middle of the rose. And so the roses open themselves to these bees. The bees take what they need, and they go off, and it's all part of this huge like ecosystem. It's all part of the system. And just like people, if people do not allow their ideas to burst open, if you hold yourself back, or you allow others to hold you back and not allow you to bloom or do what you want to do, then the whole system fails. If the roses don't open, the bees don't get the pollen, and everything else fails. Like everything fails, because you take away one element, and everything's ruined. Just like if you took away an entire species of plant. That's why it's so important when people say save the rainforest. And people think, oh yeah, save the rainforest. They're like, no, really, there are animal species and plant species and human beings. We're all a part of this system, and so if you destroy the system, like one piece of that system, we all fall. That's why there is a definite connection between us and nature. And Sherry Bugs said that is so true. I never thought of that in a larger spiritual level. Yeah, so that's what I was getting from my roses. Like, if you don't allow yourself to do what you are meant to do on this earth, that you just stay small and you allow others to dictate your life, or you don't do what your heart is calling you to do, which is to bloom for all to see, and then yeah, everything fails. So that was like my big message for the week. So I was like, thank you, roses. And that's the message that I've been getting from them, like, over and over. So I'm like, okay, so that's like the main message for now, and I felt like I had to share it on here too. So I'm glad Lighter Riga came in and reminded me that I had to share that message with you guys. So yeah, just a little reminder. Some of you maybe that needed some reminding that no matter how crazy your ideas or how weird the things that you want to do seem to other people, it's what you are called to do, and there's a reason for it. You have a purpose. We all have our purposes. Some of them we have multiple purposes, but yeah, do your thing, because if you don't, we all suffer. So just a little, and even if people think that what they're wanting to do is small, like, oh well, I just wanted to I don't know, I just wanted to open an Etsy shop and sell like some little goods. Like, who cares if I open or don't open a little Etsy shop? Well, I don't really know the answer to that, but there is a reason. I don't know what the reason is, but it needs to be there because it's part of something, So just putting the energy out there. Ozark says, you're definitely blooming, girl. Oh my gosh, I hope so. I hope I'm not like still in the bud phase, because there's so much I want to do. I'm like full of ideas, things I want to make, especially this summer. Like, I am vibrating with ideas. Oh, which reminds me, summer. Hey y'all, somebody has a birthday on Monday. Oh, if you didn't know, it was this girl. And Missy's here. Hey! Sherry Bug, you're inspiring in your creativity. Thank you. Well, I hope that inspires you guys to create something pretty awesome. But yeah, on Monday, I turned 38, y'all. I'm excited. I look in the mirror and I'm like, how am I 38? I don't feel 38. To me, I feel like I'm like 19. I think I'm just going to be 19 forever. That's what I decided. I'm going to be 19 forever because I still feel like a kid. I still have so much energy. There's so much I want to do. I was like, gosh, for everything that I want to do, God, me and my dad are going to have to live really long. I'm going to have to be like 120, 150 because I got a lot of stuff to do while I'm here. And I have to have the able body and the energy to do what I want to do. So that's why I know that it's important that I take care of myself. Thank you so much, Missy. Because, I mean, even the most diehard gym rats of us, like me, have days I don't want to work out. Like, I would rather just like sling some cards, or I would rather just sit and read a book and have some tea, and just be lazy, which I do allow my lazy days because I do listen to my body. I don't push when I physically like really, really don't want to push myself. But if I just want to be lazy for the sake of being lazy, there's this little voice that's been in me lately, I would say in the past year or two, that's like, you're not working out for yourself. Like, you're doing it for something else. And I was like, okay. So yeah, my motivation is that it's not just for me, and it's not because I just want to like have lots of muscles and like whatever. It's like it's part of that system. There's, for some reason, I have to be the one that takes really good care of myself, and I have to eat well, and I have to work out my muscles. And for some reason, I don't know what that reason is beyond me just being a healthy person, but there is a reason for it. And I've been hearing that for like the past year or two, is like, you're not just working out for yourself. Like, there is something more to it. And I'm like, okay, fine, I'll go to the gym. You could have just said, go to the gym. Like, Sherry Bug, it's so easy to not get to the gym. It is. Which is why I try to, like, the dude and I have a pretty good home gym here. So days that I feel particularly lazy, I could just be like, well, I don't feel like going to the gym, but what if I just did like a couple of arm curls? Or what my favorite thing to do is take Wally, or I take my kittens and I like to squat with them. You know, and if I have fun doing that, chances are I end up doing something else and something else. And I might as well do some abs too, like, you know. So then I get into a whole workout. The zombies are coming and you're going to have to run your butt off soon. It might be, you know. Yeah. Or what if the cyborgs come and there's like these Terminators and I have to be like the freaking ripped mom doing like pull-ups and I need to help save the world. It could be that. I hate the modern day zombies can run fast. I know, what since when do reanimated dead things run fast? I'm like, you know, technically that, you know, because I know what the human body's doing when it's running, and you kind of need to be alive for those muscles to be working. Yours sounds more plausible. Maybe. Just gonna walk around with my shotgun, defending you guys against the cyborgs. I got you. I got you. All right, what do we got? We got 10 homies in here. I wanted to do a little bit of bibliomancy. Is this a children's book? Yes, it's a children's book. My favorite form of bibliomancy is children's books. I love Grover. Actually, I have one of my favorite books. Hold on. I'm going to show you guys real quick. Okay. One of my favorite books from my childhood is The Monster at the End of This Book, starring lovable furry old Grover. And so this is like a compilation of like old Sesame Street stories. Sherry Bug said, see, my theory for the zombie apocalypse is to board up all the bottom windows and read all the books. I have been buying off thrift books. It could take years. Yes. You could just spend your days just... Oh, who's at the door? Oh, just zombies again. Huh. Good thing everything's boarded up. Just zombies again. Who? No, zombie. But anyway, so since this has something interesting written on each page, it doesn't run like a full story. It's more like messages from each of the little Sesame Street stories since from back when I was a kid and beyond. I thought a little bibliomancy might be in order. So if you would like a little Sesame Street message, which don't discount it because it's a kid's book, just let me know and I'll do a little bibliomancy for you right now. Instead of pulling a card, I'm going to be flipping through the book. And you never felt more relaxed, Sherry. Nice. So yeah, let me know if you would like me to flip through here for you. I don't mind doing that. I'll do that instead of pick a card today. Hey, Loki. You gonna take a bath? Your tongue's hanging out of your mouth again. Okay, Sherry Bug would take a message. Bibliomancy with Grover. Yes, Ozark. Okay, Sherry Bug. Okay, before I read your message, Sherry Bug, Don't Stop Believin' by Journey started playing in my head. Don't stop believing. I love that song, by the way. Allie's here too. Hey, Allie. I'm doing some bibliomancy messages if you would like a bibliomancy message from Grover and Sesame Street. So yeah, Sherry Bug, don't stop believing. Okay, this is your message. Swing for the fences. So I don't know if you've got this idea, Sherry Bug, or this thing that you're doing. I know that you're working on some, your medical tests and all that, but you did awesome. But I think that maybe you're thinking a little too small in terms of the ideas or the thing that you want to do. Like I say, even if it sounds outrageous, like go for it. Like think bigger. Because there is unlimited space when it comes to energy and ideas. Think bigger. Okay, great. So it made sense for you. All right. Next then we had Ozark. Let's see, we'll do Ozark and then Celtic Witch. Okay, so Ozark. And sometimes when I get messages, they are music. So I don't know, Ozark, if there's any sort of music. Okay, Ozark, this is funny. You know what song just popped in my head? I swear that it's like an iTunes like shuffle going on in my brain. Do you remember Godsmack from back in the day? I'm not the one that's so far away when you feel that something enter my veins. You remember that song? Oh my gosh, I used to listen to Godsmack. Yeah, anyway, well, you probably get the voodoo, 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 voodoo. Oh my gosh, Godsmack. It's a long time ago. Okay. All right. Your brain functions on music too. Okay, Ozark, you ready? You ready? Don't miss what's right under your nose. Okay, so sometimes I'm just giving like an example. Sometimes like I myself get so caught up in the things that I have to do, and like me, being so full of energy, I have all these like creative ideas and projects, and then it's like, oh, I gotta, or I'm still seeing something through that I don't quite see that there's some other stuff that is going on that's very simple. While I'm worrying about the bigger stuff, I forget about the little stuff, and to kind of take that in, because that's what gives me the energy and the drive to continue with my bigger stuff. So hopefully that makes sense for you. Oh, good. Perfect. Okay, let me scroll back through. And it was Celtic Witch. Oh, and then Carmen has to run. So Carmen, I will catch you later. So Celtic Witch, Missy, and Kristen. Okay, Celtic Witch, Missy, Kristen. All right, got it. Okay. Okay. Celtic Witch, this is interesting because I'm hearing a bunch of songs, but mostly what's coming forward is that you just need to know Tina Turner singing with, what's his name? Stewart. I keep thinking Patrick Stewart. No, that's Captain Picard. And Shine Bright is here. Hey, Rod Stewart. God, why do I keep thinking Patrick Stewart? Rod Stewart. Okay, so Tina Turner and Rod Stewart. I keep seeing those two energies like singing and dancing. So yes, Rod Stewart. Okay, so Celtic Witch, it's just like the song doesn't matter. It's just the energy of those two people singing together for some reason. And guess what came up? It says, find someone who can dance to your tune. Oh my God, how appropriate is that, right? Because it didn't matter the song that I was hearing in my head. It just mattered that those two people were singing together. Hence, it doesn't matter what you do. It just matters that you do it. You know, it's your song, it's your thing. Oh my gosh. You know, sometimes when I do readings for you guys, it's like, it's reaffirming to me that like I'm not just making up stuff in my head. That is awesome, Celtic. And you love Tina. I love Tina Turner too. I remember my dad has a thing for Tina Turner's legs. Woo! I wanted to have Tina Turner's legs. And Allie, of course, I will put you into, I said it was, who was next? Missy and then Kristen. Yeah, Missy, Kristen, and Allie. And Celtic Witch said, Rod is Scottish like me. Heck yeah. Oh my gosh. When I was little, I used to have a crush on Rod Stewart. I thought he was so cute. I loved his hair. Okay. So Missy. Okay, Missy, I don't know if you even heard of this song, but they played it in the, was it mid to late 90s? No, late 90s, early 2000s. Maybe it was just the late 90s because I remember it in high school. It's by Aqua. I'm a Barbie girl. I'm a Barbie girl in a Barbie world. It's fantastic. Life's fantastic. You can do my hair. Dress me anywhere. Imagination. It fuels the creation. Come on, Barbie. Let's go party. Oh, oh, oh. Shine Bright. I know. The 90s had the best songs. Okay, Missy knows the song. Okay, that's probably going to be just stuck in your head. You're welcome for the earworm. Okay, so what came up for you was a slow down before you fall down. Okay, so that's interesting too. So in the song Barbie Girl, even the music video is very like, you know, it's very fast and everybody's doing things fast and she's like, you know, all over the place and everything is go, literally, Missy. Before you fall down, before you get sick or, you know, you burn yourself out on things that you love to do, you know, let's not do that. So Missy, just zen, chill pill, woosah. That is your message. I said, because you're like me about hearing music as messages and readings, you should check out the classic rock tarot. It's on my wish list. I did a video on it the other day. Oh, you did? Well, then I'm gonna have to go watch that. Actually, maybe after this live chat. Ali said, I saw that video you did, Ozark. That deck looks really cool. Mrs. said, true, exactly. You are very welcome. And Celtic Witch bought that CD. Oh my gosh. I recorded it on cassette tape off the radio because that's what I used to love to do. I would put my cassette tapes into, you know, our big console and I used to like just record off the radio. That's how I made my cassettes. Even in the 90s, I still was using cassettes even though I know CDs came out, but I couldn't really afford CDs because they were like $20 or something. So, okay. Next person was Kristen and then Allie. Okay. You used to record off the radio too? That's awesome. Okay, Kristen. Okay, well, I think my brain just decided that all the music I'm going to pick for you guys is going to be in the 90s because that's where I'm stuck. So that's where the messages are going to come from. So Kristen, you got Truly, Madly, Deeply. Yeah. I'll be your dream, I'll be your wish, I'll be your fantasy. I'll be your hope, I'll be your love, everything that you need. I love you more with every breath, truly, madly, deeply do. I wanna stand with you on a mountain. Oh, Kristen said, oh, gee, I used to love that song. I know it's, oh, I love that group. I had their CD. I like literally just like wore the crap out of that CD. Oh my God, I love that song so much too. Okay, so Kristen, you got Dive into a Good Book. Missy's loving these songs. You know what? You guys could create like a spiritual playlist right now. So every song I've mentioned, just put it on your playlist. Oh, it was your dad's wedding song. That is freaking awesome. OMG, junior high dances. Oh my gosh. Okay, so Kristen, this could be like literally, you know, slowing down and just finding yourself a good book. But I'm getting a double meaning. Of course, you could take it that way, you know, and that's totally up to however you want your readings. But the other thing I'm getting with the Truly, Madly, Deeply Do, and listening to this like beautiful song is to dive into your book. You are a book. You're a walking book with stories and experiences. You're the main character. You have all these interesting characters that are in your life. You know, you have your family characters, characters that could be considered the villains. You have like the good characters, the protagonists. You have all these antagonists. You know, start getting English teachery. You have you know, you have all this stuff going, and it's like dive into your own story. Sometimes we look to others and you want to jump into somebody else's book, but you can't, you know, unless that person decides to write you in, but that would have to be for the next series. So for now, I would say dive into your own story. You know, if you were to write a book on your life, or hey, maybe this is a thing of write a book on your life, but if you were to write a book on your life, how would you tell it? Yes, I'm all English teachery because I get to make up words like Shakespeare. I doubt they will make their way into our vernacular, but that's okay. But yeah, Kristen, so dive into your story. How would you tell your story? Like, how does the story start? You know, where are you in the story right now? Are you like, is this like a trilogy? Is this like the Harry Potter series where there's like a million books? Like, you know, where are we in your story? You know, is it getting good? Are we at some sort of like climax? You know, what's going on? Kristen said, "Oh, that would be awesome. I've really been wanting to read more lately, and that's so true. Been very busy with work and taking care of baby for over a year. Haven't made much time for myself at all." Okay, so then it's that double meaning of, you know, maybe literally take some time out for yourself, but also what's going on in your story right now. Ozark, as a homeschool mom, I'm always English teacher. To experience me finding myself again, enjoy life, not just go through the motions. There you go. Because in stories, characters don't just go through the motions. They go through a lot of different experiences, and it's what makes an interesting story. Okay, I think Allie was next, if I'm not mistaken. Okay. I'm liking doing this bibliomancy. I mean, who would have thunk it? Children's books, right? That's why I keep like a whole library of children's books. It's because that's what I do for my bibliomancy. I'm all, oh no, you didn't. You didn't just double negative in this house, son. That is awesome. Is that a hanging participle? Participle that I hear? Allie. Okay, Allie. Okay. Your music was the Indiana Jones music. Dun 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 dun. I need to watch some Indiana Jones tonight. I love Indiana Jones. To me, the fourth Indiana Jones never really happened with Shia LaBeouf. No, to me, it was only 1, 2, and 3. They need to. I think they were talking about making a better fourth one. They should. But okay, so Allie, you got Indiana Jones. You're welcome, Kristen. Sherrybug. Okay, I have an English question. Is the plural of only child only children or only childs? Wait, what? Hold on. The plural of. But I'm. Okay, so if you have an only child, Oh, if you're talking like if there was a group of people that were like, that's an only child, that's an only child, that's an only child, and that's an only child. I think that's what you're saying. So if you had a group of people, yeah, then it can't be plural. Yeah, so it's a trap. Yeah, okay. Yeah. I was like, wait a minute. Then wait, you're blowing my brain real quick. Hold on, I gotta plug in the phone. It's in low power mode. Trying to trap me. So yes, if I walked into an only child meeting, you could say they are only children. Yeah. They would be a gaggle of only children. Yes, I love it. They're a gaggle of only children. That's awesome. Yes, they would be only children. We had this conversation at work yesterday. Yes, they wouldn't be only childs. That's not, yeah, it would be only children. So, unless it's like, you guys be the only childs. No, we be the only children. Okay, so Allie, where we left off, Indiana Jones. Do I have a particular Indiana Jones for you? Temple of Doom, Indiana Jones. You got the Temple of Doom. A gathering of singular offspring. That is awesome. I'm going to use that in class. A gathering of singular offspring. Oh my gosh, I love that. I'm trying to feel for Allie's message here. Okay, Allie. Friends can help you weather any storm. Temple of Doom makes any sense, or makes sense. So, so if I'm hearing Indiana Jones and I get the Temple of Doom, which is, to me, that was like, I love the Temple of Doom, by the way. I mean, I love all three. I mean, I know there was a four. I'm not acknowledging that one, but no matter what's going on right now, it's the homies around you, whether these are family that are actually your friends or actual family or just like your homies. They can help you get through things. So no need for us to do things alone. I know sometimes we all want to be lone soldiers and we don't want to, like, you know, put anybody out, or it's like, I don't want to bother people, but that's, your friends want to be there for you. Like, think of yourself, like, how much would you want to help a friend out? That's how much your friends want to help you out. Allow them to help you, or your family, or both, and let them help you get through whatever it is that you're going through right now. So, yay! Okay, The Temple of Doom is a horror film for me. It has all those giant roach-looking bugs. Ugh. That part is a little creepy, I will say. Allie loves horror movies. I love that Temple of Doom had... I love that little kid that was... I forgot his name in the movie, but he also played Data in the Goonies, and I love that kid. Well, I know he's not a kid anymore. He's probably older than me, but that book is amazing for bibliomancy. It is. Yes, creepy crawlers, Missy. Short round. I love the Stones, but I'm a rock nerd. Lida Riga, are you a rock nerd or rock nerd? Or both. You're very welcome, Allie. That is his name. Short round. Oh, short round. Oh, yes, yes. I would say I am both. Burp. Burp. Okay. So, if you were interested in Love the Fur You're In, I saw it at Target, but it was way cheaper on Amazon. So it says it's $12.99. I think I got it for like $7.99 on Amazon. So if you're looking for a good bibliomancy book that doubles as a children's book, like if you actually have kids and you would like them to have a book, and you want to borrow one of their books, I'd say this is a good one. Monster Wit and Wisdom from Sesame Street. And what's kind of cool is um, I love Sesame Street. Confession time? Yes, I love Sesame Street. I still love Sesame Street. Grover is still my favorite. Lovable, furry old Grover. But underneath each picture here, it tells you what book it came from. So, you know, in case you were like, ooh, I wonder what story that is, and you want to like get some more Sesame Street, it's totally up to you. Totally getting that book. My kids are too old for it, but I'm sure not. Or, gosh, yeah, I have, there's like a whole row. I'm actually looking at it on my bookcase right now, but like my whole row there, half of it is children's books. Like I have like a Hello Kitty book collection specifically for bibliomancy. And then I have some of my children's books that my mother didn't give away that thankfully I saved. I saved from certain doom. And then the other half are my grandmother's books, my Nana's books. Those are my dad's and mother's books, and they are old. So some of them are like 1920s, 1930s, some of them 1910. They're pretty old. And some of them are like reprints, I guess, from like the 1800s, and they were like the new edition 1915. Like, and they're all like have fabric covers or leather covers, and some of them are falling apart, and I've had to tape some of them back together because they're literally disintegrating, they're so old. But I love just like, I love diving into her old books. I always have. My Nana used to have a bin full of toys and a stack of books for me when I came into her apartment. And a lot of the books were beyond my reading level. I'd be like 6 years old, and like that reading is meant for like adults to be reading. And so I couldn't quite understand everything that was going on in the books, but I would pretend I could read them. You know, but like the Hardy Boys, I think, is there. Like, I have a lot of stuff. Let's see. Ozark said, looking up the price on Amazon. Kristen, I love children's books. They're the best. I started selling used-born books even before having my own children because I love them so much. And Ozark said they are $8.99 on Amazon. Well, there you go. And it's Prime, yes. Kristen said the pictures and whimsical stories. It's just way more fun being a kid. Yes, it is. I agree. And you know, it was so sad with my seniors. This was the day before they graduated, and it was finals week, and my seniors had taken their finals the week before, so we just kind of like had time to hang out, and they got their yearbook signed and stuff like that. And so I only had one class that day, and it was literally like one of my favorite classes. I know they say we don't have favorites, but psh, sometimes we have favorite classes. Third period was my favorite class. I mean, there was good kids in all of those class periods, but third period was just particularly fun. They just made class fun, you know? And I remember they were asking me, like, what was I feeling when I was graduating? You know, they said, do you remember? And I said, yeah. So actually, my 20-year class reunion's coming up in July. And I was like, can't believe it's been 20 years. I was like, but yeah, I said, I remember very well standing in line and dying of the heat exhaustion because it was noon in Chula Vista. It's freaking burning. I'm in a cap and gown, sweating my eyeballs out. And, you know, and they're all just looking at me with like, they're like really wanted to know, like, what were you feeling? Like, did you know that you were going to miss your friends? Like, did you want to leave? Like, did you really want to go to college? Like, you know, they really wanted to know because they were actually really concerned because they knew their lives were going to be changing, and some of them were like, I don't want to grow up yet. Like, I don't want to be an adult yet. They're like, I'm not ready. I want to stay in school. And I was like, you're going off to school. They're like, that's different. That's like big people school. They're like, I don't want to go to big people school yet. And I was like, oh. So I was trying to give them helpful advice, and I let them know that, you know, I said, everything in life is a transition. I said, you know, there was a time when you guys had to start preschool or start elementary school, and that was a big change and adjustment. And do you remember when you had to leave elementary school and go to big bad middle school or junior high? I was like, and that was a big adjustment for you guys, right? Leaving the safety of elementary school, going and hanging out with, you know, a group of 7th and 8th graders, or for some people 7th, 8th, and 9th. And I said, and then even high school was a big transition. I said, it's just a transition. I said, and then eventually I said, you're going to go through transitions your whole life. I said, you'll have families, you'll make families, you'll lose people, you lose contact with friends, but you'll make friends. And I said, and everything is about change. And I said, if you guys stayed here, literally, how awkward that would that be? I was like, can you imagine being 30 and still being a senior in high school? I was like, awkward, right? So you know that it's time for you to move on. um, let's see. I bet your students love you. I don't know. Sometimes they think that I'm just like so strict, but you know, I try to be fair with them. Um, Ozark said, girl, when I was pregnant with my first, when I donned the cap and gown, I was glad to blend in wearing something that actually fit that day. You know, and I tell them, I said, everybody had a story that day. And I was like, you know, I said, but, you know, I said, years from now, I said, you guys are going to be telling some high schooler or some kid what it was like the day that you graduated. And I said, you're going to be in such a different place and you're going to have all these stories to tell. I told them, I was like, you guys are just collecting stories. I was like, and high school is just the end of one chapter. I said, but you're beginning another chapter. And I said, I know it sounds scary because we don't know what's on the next page. I said, but trust me, everything's going to be okay. I said, that doesn't mean everything's going to be like rose colored your whole life. But I said, it's going to be okay. I said, I have a feeling you guys are going to turn out just fine. And I was like, and you know that you can come back and visit my classroom anytime. You can come talk to my seniors and tell them, you know, how scared you used to be, but how everything turned out fine. And they were like, we're going to come back and visit. And I'm like, okay. So yeah, I was just trying to, because they really were all scared. But then the day of graduation, I would be lying if I didn't get emotional, if I said if I wasn't getting emotional, but I was a little emotional when those kids were, their names were getting called and they were going across the stage. And because I had most of them when they were freshmen, and I was like, those are my kids. They're all big now. But some of them have already done so much for their community. I know that they're going to continue to do great things. Ozark said, I told my son he may have been educated at home, but he did attend public school when he was a wee little fetus. That's awesome. I like that. But yeah, like one of my students, just to like give you an example of like how much they've given back, you know, because sometimes, you know, teenagers in themselves can be selfish because it's a selfish time. They're transitioning, they're not little kids, but they're not quite adults yet. They're learning, their brains are still forming, you know, around 15, 16 years of age. They're, you know, prefrontal cortex is still like kind of coming together. They're learning about abstract thinking and, you know, things like that. And so there's a lot going on in their bodies, a lot of growth and changes. And so I was one of them, he was he's had cancer. He had leukemia when he was a child, and he spent most of his childhood in hospitals, you know, because he was like living at Rady Children's Hospital. Ozark said, you're a world changer. The impact you have on those kids had massive ripples. Hope it was all positive. But this kid, you know, he his ambition is to grow up and be president of the United States someday. And of course some of the other kids are like, yeah, right, but he's serious. And you know, and I'm like, why not? Like, why not? You know, why is that just like little kids things when they're like, I'm gonna grow up to be president someday? Like, he's serious, and I know he's serious, and I wish him well, you know, in wanting to be president someday. You know, he wants to go off, be a lawyer. He's part of, like, his whole family does Civil War reenactments because he did have family that fought in the Civil War. Like, he is so about this country, and he's so about helping other people too, because he wants to give back to Children's Hospital, and he wants to give back to the people that basically kept him alive for his childhood. He raised, by himself, you know, he decided to start a little campaign, and he raised $200,000 in the course of him getting out of Children's Hospital when he was in remission to where he is now that he's 18 years of age. He's raised $200,000 for cancer research at Rady's Children's Hospital, and that's like one kid, and he wants to give back in a big way. And one of his main things he says is he wants to put so much focus onto cancer research. When he becomes president of the United States, of course, he wants to change a lot of other things, and he does like junior lawyer thing where he goes to Capitol Hill. Or he was going to Capitol Hill like once a month, so he'd miss school because he would have to sit in, and he'd have to listen to trials, and he would see how lawyers like get their stuff together, like what does a real trial look like, and how do you what are you fighting for and stuff like that. Like he's a really interesting kid, and he's a good boy. um, but yeah, he also was very upset with how much his parents had to pay out of pocket for his cancer treatments. Like he said, he felt so bad because he had working class, or he has working class parents, and yes, insurance pays some, he says, but there was so much. He says his parents had to pay back something like this is over $100,000 for some of his treatments. Like he says, it was so much money that insurance doesn't pick up because he's been sick for too long. And he was like, that's not right. He says, when somebody is, and then somebody's child is dying, he says the parents shouldn't also be burdened with money, so he wants to fix that system. He wants to fix our healthcare system, and specifically when it comes to people with long-term health problems, especially children with long-term health problems. So yeah, he's a good kid, and there was a lot of good kids in that class that have given back, big time. There's a group of them. There's a group of kids. They're classified as Chaldeans on campus, which means they're Christian Arabs, and so they're called Chaldean. And so we have our Muslims, and we have our Chaldeans, and of course lots of other kids too. And there's a group of Chaldeans on campus where they're all friends, and their families are all friends, and they get together, and they basically they do service at the homeless shelters like a couple of times a month. They go down there, they help out, they donate their own like toys, blankets, clothing. They tell stories, they like spend some time with homeless people, getting to know them, and seeing them as people, instead of just, oh, that person's on the street because they're, they screwed up their life and that's why they're there, and kind of looking at it from like a distant perspective instead of what are these people's stories. So they sit with them and all of that. So so there's a lot of kids doing good with that, volunteering their time, soup kitchens. There's students who made sure, like during our Christmas time, that they donated lots of gift cards and toys and stuff like that, and for the needy families on campus and within our community. Because what the kids could do in our school is there's a Christmas tree, and there's a name tag on the Christmas tree, and the name tag tells you not who they are because it's nameless, but what are the ages of the children that are needing toys for Christmas and where they live. Like it'll just say like El Cajon, California, not their actual address, but it would say ages female 9, toddler 3, like boy toddler 3 years old, and then 1-year-old baby or something, a girl, and then it'll say El Cajon, California, and the kids like they bring in, and some of them like went crazy, like just like clearing out almost all our stuff because they wanted to bring it to help the kids. And so um, Ozark said, there was a kid I went to school with from first grade on to graduation whose life ambition was to be a garbage man. It doesn't matter where we set our goals. It takes all kinds to make this world run. It does. And Celtic said, we are lucky to have our national health system here in the UK. And then, yes, yes, you are, Celtic Witch, very lucky, yes. So, I told him, I said, you guys definitely need to do good. I said, because you guys are going to be the ones taking care of me when I'm old. I know you guys already think I'm old, but I was like, when I'm older, I was like, you guys are going to be my president. You guys are going to be my senators and mayors and governors. You guys are going to be the teachers of, of my friends' children and their children's children and their children's children. I was like, you guys are going to be running the world. And I said, so I hope that I've given you the skills to make good decisions and to be your own person and to always follow your dreams. And I always tell them, follow their hearts, no matter what your parents say. Follow your heart. So I was like, if you guys do that, I was like, we could end a lot of what's going on in our world. I said, so, you know, we'll see what it looks like when I'm old and decrepit. Celtic says, I know my 3 children spent lots of time in hospitals growing up. I'm very thankful. Oh, well, I hope they're doing much better now. This was fun. Have to go. Bye, Missy. Bye. So yeah. Wow, we got like all serious. But yeah, they're a great group of kids, and well, I mean, every year when I see the kids graduate, I know there's some ones in there that I'm rooting for them because I want them to turn their lives around, because I know that whatever bad childhoods upbringing, that some of them are just like trying to find themselves, and they're trying to find like their inner strength, and they're trying to find what they want to do, and I'm like always like rooting for them. Like I know that in there is good, and there's something we need, but some of them have put up walls because of like the environments they grew up in. And so I root for those kids. I root for the kids that have already made positive impacts. I root for the ones that are kind of goofy and haven't quite found their way yet, and the ones that maybe drove me insane. I kind of always wonder, what are you guys going to turn out like? Ozark said, same here, Celtic Witch. One of my sons required 7 surgeries by the time he was 4. Oh, and the bills were crippling. That's horrible. It shouldn't require GoFundMe and telethons. I know it's, because I've had students who have had cancer. There was one year a couple of years ago where it was quite a few of my students had gotten cancer, and they got pulled out of school, and we thought we were going to lose them, but they're fine now. But yeah, their parents had to set up GoFundMe accounts, that of course all of us teachers, we all donated to. But it's like, why, when a child is sick, and it's and it's the extra burden of a parent having to also have to worry about finances and money, at the same time suffering because their child is suffering. Like that's just, oh, that's such a broken system. Like that's that's way too much. But who knows, maybe you guys might have that kid for president someday, and he'll be making some changes, hopefully. Yeah, I couldn't imagine the stress, bills on top of stress, and illness comes with it. Yes, exactly, Celtic. Okay. Whew. I think I'm almost out of tea too. Okay, I'm gonna look for one last message before I'll set you guys free for this Saturday and send you off with a little healing. By the way, I've changed up how I do my healings, because you don't know how determined I am right now to, like, I truly believe that you know how I have like this like kind of quirky ability to look inside of people, and I can see medical issues in people. Like that's my gift, is I don't know, I have to see it as a gift. I can see in people what is wrong and what is needing attention, what's old injuries and stuff like that. I can see that when I peer into people's energy bodies. That's just something I can do. But something that I can also do, I can send out energy, and I can make people feel good. I can give people a good night's sleep. But my goal is, and I'm gonna shoot for the stars, is one day I want to actually physically heal people. Like if I see I don't know, like a tumor growth in somebody. You know, I want to be able to manipulate energy in such a way that I can heal that. And I know maybe for some of you guys that might sound crazy, you know, to physically heal somebody, not just make somebody feel good or just add a little extra into what their doctor's already doing. Like I want to help people like so much. Like I want to heal like so badly. And I can kind of do it, but I'm like my mission has been to heal. Like just so I've been practicing and practicing, and I've kind of changed things up a little bit on how I do my healing, because you know well, again, it's the whole sitting with my flowers and my roses and kind of talking to them. And I have like my quiet conversations. And I was like, you know, in my heart of hearts, I said, I don't like seeing people suffer. And I said, and I hate especially seeing children suffer. And I was like, I want to help so much. And I know that, you know, they say, oh, well, teachers like help and do that. I was like, but I said, if somebody's like really suffering, you know, on the inside, I said, as a teacher, I can't be like, oh, you're healed. You know, a healer can do that. I was like, I want to do that. And my roses were like telling me, well, since I work in color, what if I worked, because I also work with herbs and plants and flowers, if I were to utilize the energy of nature basically and colors and to work that together and to use it on people, you know, not physically, like if something called for the power of calendula, you know, calendula flowers, if I could take the energy of that plant and put it into that person where needed, you know, and kind of work with, I've been kind of practicing with that. I don't know. I'm going to try to do that with your guys's, excuse me, healing today. I know it's just a general healing and it's like, you guys are all very different people. Excuse me. But if I want to incorporate some of what I have been doing and just, you know, maybe later on you can comment, I know after this thing is over, if you could just like tell me if anything was different or if it was just the same, you felt like some tingles or some heat or, you know, it's fine, but I just want to, I'm going to practice. Okay. You guys are like my spiritual guinea pigs. I like to practice my healing on you. Ozark says you have a healing aura. I can see it. Well, I want badly to like, and I know that there's other people out there that I have heard that can do it. I was like, they can do it, I can do it. I was like, because I don't see things as impossible. To me, energy is energy. We're energy bodies. I mean, yes, we have this like human thing on us, but in essence, like our whole world is energy. Some things move at a faster vibration or a slower vibration, which is what makes things, you know, seem, I don't know, we're getting into physics here, but without getting all physical, you know, I just think if we are energy, we can definitely manipulate energy. So that's the short answer. I'm working on it. It's teal colored. You know what? You're not the first person to say that. There's a lot of people who've said that it's actually almost like the color of my chrysocolla. It's sometimes a light blue, dark blue, or teal. Teach it, girl. I love me some physics. You know, me too. I mean, I never did well in school in like physics and math, but now that I'm like not having to do it for a grade, I have so dove into like physics and all of sciences. I'm just like, I love to read up on that stuff. Okay, so our last message. So yes, same color. One last message, and then I sent you guys my new form of healing. It's that color, but light. Probably almost like, let me show you my favorite stone in the whole world. Like me and the stone, we homies. Hemimorphite is my favorite stone in the whole world. Like this is my soul stone. Like me and the stone. Seriously. So I think that my aura probably has elements of hemimorphite. That is my favorite stone of all time. And Kristen loves that stone. Oh, Kristen, I forgot. I still have to make a video on hemimorphite for you. Okay, our message. I love all the butterflies. Can I just tell you, I love butterflies. Dance, flutter, and fly. Oh, not light in color, but light is in light. Oh, okay. Oh, nice. I like that too. You know, it's interesting. I have a hard time seeing my own aura and looking inside myself, although I can do that sometimes, but it's so much easier to see everybody else. Yeah, dance, flutter, and fly. Well, we'll do just that for our little Healy, our Healy Bob, as my dad would say, the diddly bob, the dealy bob, the chingus, the thing. Okay, so if you would like to receive my healing energy, and if you don't, that's completely fine, not gonna hurt my feelings, then you can either say it out loud, say it in your head, you can say it in the comments, just put that energy out there so that your energy is open to it. If you want somebody else to receive it, like you want it to go to your fur baby, to your child, if you want it to go to a particular part of the world or somebody else, you can also say it in your brain or say it out loud or put it in the comments. It's totally up to you. You guys could leave now if you want. You don't have to stay here, but just know that that energy will go to where you intend it to go. You don't have to be laying down. You don't have to be in lotus pose. You don't have to be in full like woo. You guys can go about your day, or you can continue watching. That's totally up to you. But the energy will go where you want it to go irregardless. Okay, so actually, while I got my 2 stones, they're gonna help me out. So I have them lined up in front of me, and I'm gonna take a drink of water because I could feel the heat rising, because just before I heal, I get so hot. I start to sweat, like I get really, really hot. I start to burn up, and I'm starting to burn up because I'm getting ready to do some healing. Okay, here we go. right, so obviously just a little ditty. Hopefully you guys feel a little bit better. um, so I was kind of seeing, you know, everything that needed a little bit of love, as in it was like the color red, and I saw all spinning clockwise, but I decided to spin it counterclockwise, and I added in to this like red energy, pink tulips, oak, and sage. And I basically just imagine it mixing all around until it was had become its own spin. Yeah, just kind of sent it all back to you guys, but in a little bit changed form. And then afterwards, the crystal that popped up for me was a Herkimer diamond. So actually kind of like my Herkimer here. So to me, meaning pretty clear. um, so, oh, good, Ozark. You're welcome, Celtic. And good. Yay. So anyway, I wish you guys a wonderful Saturday. I need to go eat now because I don't know, that kind of energy always makes me very hungry and thirsty. So anyway, I will catch you guys next weekend. What am I doing next weekend? Oh, next weekend is the giveaway. So I'll see you guys next weekend for the giveaway. Yay! So don't forget, if you haven't done entered your name into the giveaway, please do. Oh, you're very welcome, Becky Beetle. It's on yesterday's video, so just comment on it and everything. You know, watch the videos, see what you need to do, and yeah, I can't wait to do that next. Felt like ASMR on your scalp. Oh, really? And Celtic Witch is feeling extra fresh. So yeah, be doing the giveaway next Saturday. Monday, I probably won't have a video, but I will have videos the rest of the week. But Monday, I'm going to be going to Arizona with the dude for my birthday because I love the Cracker Barrel, and we're going to go to the Cracker Barrel so I can have some Southern cooking because I love me some Southern cooking. So we're going there for my birthday. But yeah, I will catch you guys next weekend for the giveaway. I hope you guys have a wonderful day wherever you are, and you have a wonderful weekend. And I will catch you spiritual homies later. All right, peace, love, and chicken grease.